Good morning, this is Chris the Old Guy, and today I'm going to do a short video on the 1990 baseball Bowman set. It's not the inaugural set at the 89 tops. The 89 Bowman set was the inaugural when they brought back Bowman. If you were to do the inaugural set, the cards are larger. The bottom line, that set, you need bigger sleeves for the set. So I purchased this instead for the time being. The 1990 Bowman set. We're going to open this up. We're going to see what it has inside. We are looking for Frank Thomas, and we are looking for specifically Ken Griffey Jr. and anything else that was a rookie back then. I believe Mo Vaughn was a rookie in that year, 1990. Let's see what we can find. I'd like to thank everyone up for time. I opened this up. This comes from Nostalgia Trading Cards out in Nebraska. So thank you very much for that. Giving props to those that actually help an old guy out in his channel. I actually have the 1989 set, the Bowman set, but I don't have the sleeves. I'm going to do that set eventually as soon as I get the sleeves. This has on the bottom Bowman sweepstakes. It's incredible what they used to do years ago. Sweepstakes and wax cards and all that stuff. You can tell this has been around for a while. The plastic is old, kind of dirty. The gentleman that packed it in Nostalgia did a real good job. It come to me, I even got cardboard pieces on my black mat. Yeah, it's get my cardboard roller. We haven't done a video in a while, and I'd like to apologize for that, but I've been a little busy with stuff. So we're going to do some videos in a short time frame. Mainly, I'm going to pick up those sleeves, and I'll probably do the 89 when I can, but that was the inaugural. This is the second year of the Bowman, when Bowman was reestablished after all those years. 1990 was a good year. Let's see what we got. Like I said, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video. This is a 528 card set. So we're looking for McGuire. I'm looking for Frank Thomas, and I am looking for specifically Ken Griffey Jr. Here's the invoice to Topps magazine. This was something. I remember this when I was a kid. Subscribe now and save 15%. Topps had an exciting magazine many years ago. So that's something you can put in a sleeve, maybe grade. These are junk wax cards, but the bottom line is these are nice cards. I love this year. This is a great year. This is when I was 16 years old. It brings back some memories. You don't necessarily need to have a PSA 10 for a card, but you always have a memory and dig out the memories when you're a kid. That's why I went back into card collecting to begin with. So let's see what we find. I've got some plastic sleeves and some hardbounds if I find the cards real quick. These are typical size cards. They're not the whole big card size like, they're going to say. Well, 90s, they're standard card size. That's what I'm trying to say. Compared to the 89 Bowman, which were the larger cards. Steve Warwick, Nelson Lariano, Chris Bosio, Jose De Leon, Kent Herbeck. There's Will Clark on the box cover. He was on the box cover. Not a bad condition card. Jeff Branson, Alan Zinser, Jamie Roseboro, Ty Griffin. Ty Griffin I seen play against the Chiefs many years ago. Griffin was a rookie. Robbie Thompson. Thompson is now a coach, if I remember right. Bill Doran. Steve Bushell. Cal Daniels. Cal Daniels used to play for the Reds many years ago. Terry Pendleton, a Brave at one time. Gerald Young. Scott Cooper. Scott Cooper was probably a rookie back then. Made his first professional baseball debut in Emeralds in '86. He played in New Britain in '89. Alfredo Griffin. Eric Anthony. David Cone. Coney. What a great player he was, and a Hall of Famer. Oh, we have a backwards card, and the card was actually got a crease. And what are you going to do about it? We'll get another one. Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson was a great player. There are pennies on the dollar, so I'll get one. Todd Hundley. Mickey Randy. Carney Langford. Jose Offerman. I hope none of the big cards like Frank Thomas and Griffey is like that. All right. Out of the 528 card set, we have Steve Bierce, Don Slott, Rafael Palmeiro. Rafael Palmeiro was in that controversy with the steroid era years ago. Don't mean to tarnish someone's name, but it was a big thing back in the 90s. Kevin Bass, John Kruk, playing for the Philadelphia Phillies. He was a Padre, too. Ernie White, Willie Green, Claudell Washington. Claudell Washington played for the Yankees, too, if I remember right. Ken Phelps, Jim Presley. I'll go slow because some of the cards are sticking a little bit. I mean, it's hard to, how do you say it, make sure you get them all. If I miss a couple, I miss a couple, but the bottom line, I want to get them all. All right, looks like we got them all. And even old cards smell good, too. Scott Service, Andy Benes. We're also looking for Tony Gwynn, Mel Rojas, Wes Garner, Bip Roberts, Scott Sanderson, Danny Gladden, playing for the Minnesota Twins. Boy, that was a great year in '87 or '86 when they won the World Series. That was a great year in the Metrodome. Chad Grelick. Look who we got. Let's see. I'm just curious how Barry looks in the... You got to size him up with the sizing meter to see if it's actually sized to the middle. I got one. I don't have it out. Bob Green, Rob Nelson, Dave Martinez. Dave Martinez is also a coach now. Scott Hemman, Andre Dawson, one of my best friend's favorite players. That's not sized right. You can tell, it's not centered at all. See the bottom here? But hey, it's still in good condition. Again, it's junk wax. I'm not wishing for a mint. It's for the nostalgia. Maurice Vaughn, Pete Harnish, Keith Hernandez playing for the Cleveland. Well, we can't say the word, but they are the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland Guardians, technically. Todd Brunansky, Dave Otto, Jeffrey Leonard, Glenn Braggs, Mike Heath, Mike Rutlinger. We got Scott Ludis, Tony Pena. Oh, is it Tony Pena? No, it's Mickey Pena. Hubie Brooks, Steve Olin, Reggie Jefferson, Paul Coleman. No relation to Vince Coleman, I don't think. And we have a Hall of Famer here. We have a Barry Larkin. Now, I have the large card of the 89 of Devon White. I have, like I said, I picked that set up, but I gotta get the sleeves for it. I'm not going to do it unless I have the sleeves. I didn't realize I didn't have the sleeves. Devon White, Albano Espinoza. We have a Jesse Barfield playing for the New York Yankees. Brings back memories when I see that. Barfield played for the Blue Jays too. Speaking of which, there's Vince Coleman, the speedster. Got a couple of. If you look, you can see the dings. Yeah, no, but the corners are sharp. You get what you pay for. You can't complain. To throw him to the side. Craig Worthington, and here's the checklist. 265 to 396. C. Bedrosian. Brent Bailyn. Tom Foley. Drew Parks. There's Jose. Jose Canseco. Bob Rose. Russ Swan. Lee Smith, big Lee Smith used to play for the Cubs too. He was a great pitcher, great closer. Mel Hall, Port Byron native. Never seen him play, but I heard a lot of stories about him. He also played for, who else he played for? I'm trying to remember who else he played for. He played for the Red Sox. No, I'm not sure. I know that I think he played for the Cleveland Guardians or Cleveland Indians. Another Hall of Famer. Well, Mel Hall is not a Hall of Famer, but Ozzie Smith is a Hall of Famer. Billy Ripken does commentary on MLB. Got another bubble on a card, but hey, whatever. Frank Tanana, another checklist. Gary Reedus. I remember him in the World Series back in '91. Or was it? Yeah, I forget. Junior Felix, I seen play. Hey, in the Hall of Famer, we got Robin Yount. Donald Harris. Danny Jackson. And look who's another Hall of Famer. Cal Ripken. Felix Jose. Howard Johnson. Frank White. Now we get into the steroid era players, and unfortunately I have to talk about it that way because that was probably part of the thing back then, and they weren't testing them. Felix Sammy Sosa, Lenny Dykstra, Mark Lemke. Some of these players played clean, but some of them didn't. You have to sit there and think about what happened back then. Kevin Gross, Ben McDonald, Dwight Gooden was a great pitcher, another great pitcher. Spike Owen, Anderson Anna, Randy Myers, Sean Eriks, Mike Moore, Thomas Howard, Kirby. He was a great player. God rest his soul. Kevin Eltzer. There he is. There's one of them. That's the one we're looking for. You can see that's one of them. We got to find Griffey too now. Not in bad condition, but you got to bring that size up. You got to bring that size meter up when if it's size to the middle, whatever that meter thing is called, the grade card. It shows if it's 80-20 or whatever. Corners are really sharp. So the inaugural set had Griffey Jr. and Griffey Sr. in a picture. And that's the reason why I wanted to get that set. But like I said, I don't have the sleeves for it. You can look up the card on eBay or whatever. You can look up the set as well. This set you can look up. It's not a bad price. I believe there's no price in the box, but I believe I paid under $50. Mike Harkey, Joe Carter playing for the Padres. Mike Fetters, Greg Jeffries. This was a card that this was a player that back in the 90s he had a card that everyone was sought after. He was a future star. Tim Houston, Mike Rufford, another Hall of Famer, George Brett. Sharp corners, smooth to the card, but is it size to the middle? Who knows? Hal Rhodes, Greg Brock, no relation to Lou Brock, Brett Gideon, Tom Glavine, is that how you say it? Hall of Famer, Cecil Espy, Delino DeShields, Kiki Jones, Scott Ruskin. I got to be a little bit careful here because I might miss a card. Scott Hansen, Todd Worrell, John Ruskin, Darryl. Should he be going to the Hall of Fame? You know, if they enact the Hall, if they change some rules, you know, some of the guys that played during the steroid era should go, in my opinion. It's just right. Let them be. Tim Wallach, Dave Righetti, good pitcher, good really. And here's Marco. It's the other card I was looking for, Mark McGwire. In his younger years, he played for the Cardinals too. I mean, he just tore it up. Earl Cunningham, Sid Fernandez. Now we're looking for Griffey. And look who's out the door. I don't think he took roids because he played two sports. He was a natural gifted athlete, Bo Jackson. He was just a natural gifted athlete. But there's his card. Greg Canley, Mike Palacios, Jeff Montgomery, Kent Merker, Raymond Martinez, great pitcher. Dennis Boyd, playing for the Expos. Technically now the Rays, if I remember right. Or no, they became the Nationals. Dennis Boyd used to play for the Red Sox, 86. Mark Grace, Moises Alu's son. Mark Gardner, Jay Howell. Dave Winfield, another athlete I don't think took roids, in my opinion. You can make your comments to whatever you want to do. Like, subscribe, and tell old guy off. But I think some players didn't do what they had to do, and they played naturally. Big Dave Winfield played naturally, in my opinion. He had what it took. He did what he had to do. Then we have a Chuck Knobloch, 88 Rookie of the Year, if I remember right, or was it 90? Dennis Eckersley, another Hall of Famer. Dave Hollins, Greg Gore, Leo Gomez. Dave Henderson, another player that was good for the Red Sox and a couple other teams, if I remember right. Leo Gomez, let's see here. Lou Whitaker, Big Sweet Lou, as they called him. Tommy Herr. Ed Zosky, I seen him play for the Chiefs many years ago. Actually, they're called the Syracuse Mets, but they were the Syracuse Chiefs long, long ago. Jeff Shaw. And we have Ricky, the speedster. Boy, he was good. He was a great player. Reminds me of Acuna now. Ernie Camacho, Kelly Grube, Joe Price, Brian Smith, Darren Lewis. We're going slowly and surely. Derek Lilliquist, Bert Bylevin, a Hall of Famer, Walt Terrell, Kevin Brown, Chuck Malone, Deion James, Kevin Ritz, Greg Blauser. See how some of these cards are, it's difficult to probably size these up on a size meter and for the middle. Whether or not they actually make a 10 or a 9 or an 8, that's, you're playing with fire. Jose Vizcaino. And there he is. There's Tony Gwynn. Good condition. God rest his soul. Great player. Hall of Famer. Randy Johnson. Brooke Jacoby. Randy was a force, both in the AL and when he was with the Rays, or with the Rays were, I thought he played for a couple of NL teams too as well. He extended his career. Billy Sampson, Mike Hosby, Henry Cotto, Tom Filler, Mike Wilmington, Mark Williamson, Travis Fryman, Jeff Juden, Bernie. Might be Bernie's inaugural year as a rookie. Bernie was a great baseball player for the Yankees. There's no doubt about that. He's even in the plaques in the hall in the Yankee plaques in the Yankee Stadium. Louis Salazar, John Franco. That was my only ball game I got to see Frank Viola and John Franco play against the Braves when I saw my one major league game when I was a kid. Don Browning, Brady Anderson, Alex Infante, Steve Wilson, Jay Buhner, Tom Prince, Eddie Winston, Carmelo Martinez. Oral Hershiser playing for the Dodgers. Willie McGee, another speedster. Andrew Arcedino, Lloyd McClanahan, Dwight Evans, Dewey. They used to call him Dewey. Now you see that? It's kind of sized up a little bit, so it's not to the middle. Omar Vizquel, Joe McCrane, Steve Lyons, Jim Gantner, Ed Romero. Well, we got a beat up checklist. Not that bad, but here's a corner. Again, you can't really do it. Roger Clemens. Did he or did he not use roids? I don't know. For you to predetermine. Doug Drabeck, Reggie Harris, Marquise Grissom, Mitch Williams. The 90s and the 80s were tarnished by that era. You know, the roids era. It's unfortunate. You have to think of it as they weren't non-illegal or anything like that. I mean, players, even in the NFL, they look at Lyle Alzado. They were allowed to use beneficial drugs for their own benefit. So I'll be done with the conversation. Lionel Smith, Whitaker, Bradley, Jeff Parrott, Mark Portugal, Pat Borders, Ellis Burks, Ron Hassey, Robin Ventura, great catcher, played for the White Sox. Randy Bush, Rico Baragna, Andy Van Slyke. Good player, great player. Ruben Sierra, he played for the Yankees too. And a couple beat-up cards. Greg Briley, Ruben Sierra. Just a couple bubbles. Not a big deal. You get what you pay for with junk wax. I'm a firm believer in it. Jeff Blauser, another checklist, 133 to 264. Hilton, Julio. Julio had that classic bat sideways, but he was a good player. Darnell Coles, Greg Swindell. Mike Shosha, Greg Boddicker. Darren Dalton, Joey Bell. Eric Gunderson, Gary Sheffield. The nephew or the cousin of Dwight Gooden, if I remember right. Wally Joyner. See how his face is lined up in the middle with his nose? That, I mean, it looks sized up, in my opinion. I'd have to get the size meter out, but not to pick on Wally. The bottom line is you're looking for a 10. You got to find that meter to the right to the middle. Dave Val. Dave Rode. David Segui. Roland Romes. Dennis Ramison. Jeff Robinson for the Yankees. Tim Burke. Tim Leary for the Yankees. Jim Eisenreich. Dave Stewart. Stewie playing for the A's. Boy, they were dominant when he was playing for the A's. He also played for the Dodgers, if I remember right. And Walt Weiss. Walt Weiss is on the coaching staff of the Diamondbacks, if I remember right. Bob Hamlin. Sid Bream. Fred Lynn. Played for the Red Sox in the 70s. Did he make it to Hall of Fame? I don't know. I don't think so. But he had good stats. Tito Martinez. Juan Berenger. Scott Bradley. Roger Smithberg. Roger Salkeld. Julio Valera. Jeff Jackson. PJ Suroff, Eric Show, Steve Farr, Adam Peterson, Carlos Barrega, Howard Farmer, Randy Velarde. I seen him play against the Chiefs many years ago. I should call them the Syracuse Mets now. You have to use the regular pronouns and different pronunciation and according to woke. Joe Oliver, Jeff Heap, Tim Belcher, Willie Smith. Not that I am a participant of anything, but the bottom line is things have changed over the years. Dan Plesick, Mark Ubazaw. Some of these cards are kind of sticky. Damon Berryhill, he played for the Blue Jays too. Johnny Ard, Jimmy Key, one of the original Blue Jays. Gary Deshara, is that how you say it? Desarina. Glenn Allen Hill, I seen him play. His 88 Donruss card was one of the toughest cards to find. It took me forever to get it. I remember that clear as day. Dwight Smith. Ivan Calderon. Bill Gullickerson. Tom Gordon. Joey Cora. Eric King. Tom Henke. Paul O'Neill. Ball A. Another commentator now. Played for the Yanks. He was a great player. Ozzie Guillen. Good player for the White Sox. Daryl Boston. Sean Dunston, another shortstop for the Cubs. John Smoltz, another Hall of Famer. Glenn Davis. He had the stats to be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I'm speaking of Davis. Jeff Goff, Rob Nen, Jerry Brown, Roberto Alomar. I believe one of the Alomar brothers is in the Hall of Fame. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sandy, I believe, is in the Hall of Fame. Mike Stanton, Brian Lane, John Olerud. I just sent out a card from 99 Flair, or 99, I forget 99, but it was 99 Flair, to a gentleman on eBay. That's kind of ironic. Of John. Eric Davis. Harold Reynolds. Another commentator. Joe Alsalak. Mike Henneman. Big Dave Parker. Now that's irony. He's playing for the Brewers, but his first team was the Pirates. And Mike Laverle. Chet Lemon. Alan Anderson. Mike Schooler. Now you notice I'm throwing cards over here because a lot of those are the ones that's got the bumps or the or a crease. I may or may not get them. I don't know. Obviously, if it's Griffey like that, I may end up buying them. Mike Milligan, Park Pickman, Mike Gallego, Willie Blair, Hal Morris. There he is, right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Ken Griffey Jr. I would say it's probably an 8 or a 9 because it's just simple as the fact that this is supposed to be, you take a look, it's about the size. The older the cards, the more the pickier. The bottom line, The bottom line is he's sized pretty much in the front to a certain extreme. I don't have the meters and the tech card out with me. I got to get it in the drawer. But the bottom line is it's got sharp corners, no dust, no debris on it. Really good condition. And look what we got. Bobby Bonilla, the player that the Yankees, I believe, are not the Yankees, the Mets are still paying on his contract for all these years. Big Bobby. He had a long contract for all those years. And he took it out in installments, if I remember right. Rafael Valdez. I don't know much about the contracts, but I know that they were paying on it for a while. And I voiced my opinion on the roids. If I piss off anyone, oh well, sorry. Dickie Thon, Nolan Ryan, the greatest pitcher of all time, in my opinion. Played for how many years? What a good condition card that is, huh? Brett Saberhagen, Kevin Mitchell, Tom Caninati, Brian Dubois, Kevin Maas, another rookie for the Yankees. He did pretty well, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. Jose Akendo, Lloyd Mosby, Greg Smith, Lee Stevens, John Tudor, Milt Thompson, Kurt Stillwell, Jerome Walton, Greg Hibbard, Ken Daly, Pete Incaviglia, Blaine Beatty, we're 37 minutes in and we're probably going to finish up at about 40 or so. People are going to start waking up. I'd like to thank everyone for watching Chris the Old Guy's video, if you are watching it. Kirk McCaskill, Larry Walker, what a good player he was. Steve Romine, Ken Howell, Sasso Fielder. Well, his son even played. They both played good. One of them played in Tokyo, or one of them played in Japan, if I remember right. Molino Lopez, Scott Bankard, Mark Langston, Alan Mills, Jason Grimsley, Dale Murphy. What a player he was. The expressions and feelings and committed to what I say in regards to certain comments, in regards to, say, droids and stuff, you're entitled to your own opinion. But the bottom line, I say that baseball was kind of tarnished in those eras a little bit. Mike Greenwell, Juan Samuel, Terry Steinbeck, Dean Wilkins. Obviously not a sized card, but he's not even he's a common. Bob Deere, Willie Banks, Rick Honeycutt, Marty Barrett, Kevin McReynolds, Bill Bates, Gary Pettis, Mike Bielecki, Kevin Blankenship, Jack Daughtry, Scott Felcher, Jose Cano, Dan Schatzeder, Bill Picata, Scott Scudder, Wade Boggs, another Hall of Famer. What a player. He played for the Rays, too, and the Yankees. What a player he was. Gary Templeton. They smell fresh. As fresh as you can get. Kyle Abbott. Scott Callback. Bill Landrum. Chris Sable. I remember him with the glasses. He had 88 Rookie of the Year, or 87, I think it was. He could play. He could play with those glasses. He was a great player. Alvin Davis. Mickey Tettleton. Greg Gagne. Cards are kind of sticky, so I just got to go a little slow. They're not sticking with gum or anything. It's just that they're old and they haven't been brought out. Greg Gagne, Rick Russell, Bill Kyler, Gerald Perry, Greg Maddux, Mad Dog's brother, Brett Butler. Oh, he was a good player too. Matt Williams, another good player. Juan Gonzalez. Will he ever make it to the Hall of Fame? I don't know. He's got stats to it. Rick Luxin. Mike Pagliarulo. That's how Rich used to call him. Pags. Bobby Thinkman. Craig Lefferts. Dave Bergman. Mike Hartley. Pete O'Brien. Rick Cerrone. Jack Howell. Randy Verez. Dave Steer. Chris James. George Bell. Another player I saw play for the Syracuse. When he was on rehab assignment, he hurt himself, but he was a good player. Jose Rio. John Orton. Another Hall of Famer. Carlton Fisk. Bob Boone. Boone's father. Booney. The original Boone. Louis Soho. Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey's father. Ken Griffey Jr.'s father, excuse me. And like I said, the inaugural set 89's got the two of them together on a camera shot. Pat Gomes, Monte Ferris, Ryan Sandberg, Rhino. What a player he was. Another Hall of Famer. Tony Fernandez, Jeff Ballard, Dave Schmidt. Ken Caminiti, Brian Rojan, Rich Yett, Mike Devereaux, Benny Santiago, Rookie of the Year back in 86 or 87. Mark Lewis, Paul Sorrento, Charlie Liebert, Kevin Salter, Greg Vaughn, no relation to Mo Vaughn. Got a handful of cards and that's it. Oh, Todd Benzinger, Ken Oberfil, Craig Biggio, another Hall of Famer. What a player he was. Steve Ontiveros. This one probably that's his first card for a rookie, for Bowman, plus 91. Larry Anderson, Roberto Kelly. What a player he was. Tony Phillips, Frank DiPino, Scott Radinsky, Frank Viola. That's what I saw play when I was a kid, 16 years old. Tito Martinez, Jim Navarro, Mookie Wilson, Teddy Uguera, Chuck Libore, Gary Gaetti, Tommy Green, Manny Lee, Brian Downing, Jeff Reardon, Todd Zeal, Fred McGriff, the crime dog, the one and only Hall of Famer, Billy Spears, Tom Storm Davis, Scott Elred, Danny Darwin, Rick Sutcliffe. Good player. He is now a commentator, I believe, for the one of the networks. Jack Clark. Oh, Jack was an awesome player. I remember him clear as day playing for the Cardinals, too. Tim Layana. Dave West. Wally Backman. Gino Petrelli. What else we got here? We're closing in on 45 minutes. And I apologize for the time, but we have to go through the set slowly so everyone sees the cards. Jose Ling, Scott Bryant, Jay Bell. Jack McDowell. Pascual Perez. Harold Baines, another Hall of Famer. But this time he's playing for the Texas. He was always a White Sox. Chuck Finley. Eric Hansen. Jeff Hamilton. Tony Ferrazzica, if I said it right, excuse me if I didn't. Mark Davis. Jim Abbott, the man with the one hand that played. What a player he was. What a player. Give him credit. Lance Parrish. Joe Skaleski. Corey Snyder. Scott Garrelts. Candy Maldonado. Tony Pena. Good catcher. Dave Smith. Kevin Appier. Terry Bross. Gary Eve. Steve Carter. Johnny Ray. Jody Reed. Paul Kilgus. Bruce Hurst. That's a cool picture of a pitcher. Von Hayes. Ray Langford. Steve Sachs. Second baseman. And we get to another storyline. Jim DeShays played for Lemoyne. I got to see him up on a hill many years ago. He actually was signing autographs many years ago. I lost his autograph, but I had it along with someone else. Forget his name. Someone played for the Blue Jays. Rob Murphy. Terry Kennedy. Obdi McDowell. Rick Aguilera. Ed Sprague. Eric Stone. Donnie. Last but not least, Donnie. One of my favorite players when I was a kid. Actually was my favorite player when I was a kid. Had a 7-foot door poster of him. Clear as day. I can remember it. Paul Molitor. Another Hall of Famer. Now, Mattingly never made it to the Hall of Fame, unfortunately, because of his back, but he was a good player. Carlos Martinez. That was last but not least. All right. Keep plugging those stars, rookies, inserts, parallels. If you're going through old sets, make sure you go through them finally. Enjoy the time. Bring back the memories. I should be doing a video soon in regards to what I don't know. I'd like to do the 89 inaugural of Bowman, but I don't have the sleeves for them, so I probably will wait for that, or I'll just do them and say, we'll put them in the box slowly and surely, take them out. The bottom line is I want to do that set badly, and I can't for now. You got to have the bigger sleeves. But these sleeves, these will fit standard, these cards. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Thank you for your time. Till next time, take care.